known about VF Engineering for about 5 years now. I heard about you, I was at a car show and saw a Lamborghini with a VF supercharger, and it sounded amazing. Extremely loud, but with a nice subtle whine on the supercharger, and it definitely drew my attention. Yeah, I bought the R8 because it was something that I felt like I could drive around and not be pretentious. Most of my cars in the past were classic cars, so this was the first time I started jumping up into more of an enthusiast role. This would probably qualify as my first supercar. I've had a bunch of other cars, but all of them are older. Before I came to VF, I put 26,000 miles on it. I just loved its power delivery, its handling, its 40 weight motor oil. There's so many things when you look at it, it checks the box on that just makes it reliable and easy to jump in and drive. Since I got the R8, I started going the other way with additional cars, and this one's still my favorite. Aquapovic exhaust, lowered, Vorsteiner wheels, Vorsteiner front splitter, every bit of PPF on it, and just tried to check every box to keep it looking pristine. On the streets, it's largely the same. You can't really tell. You hear a subtle little whine every now and then. Definitely when you get on it, you can feel it and hear it, and the car responds far better. Your shifts are a lot earlier, you're ripping through power faster. It's funny, I decided to supercharge the R8. I was torn between supercharging it or getting a rocket ship, and then I decided to do all of it. I'd gotten used to it, and I was looking for that next level that I could still get through the turns, still brake, and have a really enjoyable driving experience. It seemed to make sense because it's something that I can manage without getting too much horsepower that would make it unwieldy. Because once you start doing that, you gotta look at your brakes. Do I have the brakes to stop that much horsepower? Now you're changing the apex of your turns when you get into it, and that whole thing, I didn't have to worry about that with this. So I went on a drive with, there's GT3 RS, number of other highly modified cars, and it was an overall performance thing because we were in canyons and they were missing lines and they were in other lanes, and this thing's so well engineered just from the start. And then when you increase the performance to the right level, you're able to really maximize it, and it shows. The experience of VF Engineering was awesome. Great customer service, super responsive. I started with the software ECU tune, very helpful through that. I did it myself, and that was a terrific experience. And then from there, it was just, they answered every question I had. And when you start thinking about modifying it, having modified so many cars in the past, I've ruined a number of cars where, because it's like, oh, I got more horsepower, but then I couldn't get the transmission to work with it correctly. I couldn't get the braking system to work with it correctly. So those were all my concerns. And after working through it with all of them, I had no concern. If VF Engineering starts getting into other cars that I'm doing, I don't see myself buying a Huracan. I'd buy another Audi R8, and I would definitely bring it right back to VF and have a supercharger put on it and an ECU tune and get going again.